right, we're about to hit it. We're about to be live. Let's make it do what it do. We're live? Okay. So we are live. You can see us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Check us out right now. We'll be right back with you, Howlers. We'll be right back. To see all of us though next time. So it's doing it. We gotta get ready. All right, yeah, no, you'll see. Now.
House of a Bass. I'm Ronnie Adams.
And I'm Jacob Casas, and this episode is called Funntastic, and we got a special guest with us today. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
Samuel Funn from the city of Rialto, 40 years old. The last name Funn's well known in the IE. You know, if you don't know, now you know. Exactly. I'm a business owner, family man. Just try to, keep things simple, but at the same time, got to keep things moving. So that's about me. So
me and Sam have done business together. For those of you who don't know, I have a diesel repair shop. And we've done business. He's done body work. So the business he has is body work. He does it on cars and all that stuff, but he also does it on rigs, and he's taking care of a lot of stuff for us. So, and in reality, I mean, family type deal going on over here. You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, welcome, Sam.
Appreciate it.
It's a pleasure to have you in.
Took long enough.
I heard that. I heard about it.
Hey, that's right. We definitely couldn't wait to get Sam on because, he has a lot to say. Yeah, so glad to have you on once again. Just want you to tell us a little bit about where you started, like what was your dreams and aspirations as a kid before we get into where you are now. So tell us about a little bit about your childhood. How many siblings you have? What was your dreams and aspirations as a kid?
I mean, I got 2 brothers, 2 sisters, but a lot of extended. One of my extended right here. I got brothers that they ain't got to be blood, but they brothers to me. I got sisters that they ain't got to be sisters, but they sisters to me. They ain't got to be blood. And growing up as a kid, I had every kid's dream. Sports, basketball, in particular for me and my family. Basketball ran through everybody. If you was a Funn, you played basketball. If you hung with the Funns, you played basketball. Growing up, it wasn't bad, you know what I'm saying? But everybody goes through their ups and downs in life. At the same time, as a kid, you don't get to choose your ups and downs. But at the same time, when you grow up, that's when you make the decision to make things change. And I made that decision to make things change just by, hanging with my dad, doing the stuff that he do, seeing him, the things that he did in a garage in a house. You know what I'm saying? I followed his footsteps when it came down to cars, ultimately because of the fact that I was always intrigued by building things, making things, creating things, and I just seen that's what he was doing out there. Whether it be audio, whether it be paint and body like I do right now, that's what he was always into. I asked for connect sets as a kid so I could build motorcycles, little itty bitty motorcycles that actually worked. And just
so your brain was going in the creative mode.
Always.
Even as a kid.
I love to draw. I always loved to create. And then, it related in basketball because you got to create plays.
Right.
You got to create, openings for your teammates. And basketball just, it opened avenues. Of course, you got to put that time in individually, but it created teamwork. So, I had a big family. Mm-hmm. So teamwork was always instilled in us.
So you feel like basketball was a big thing for you to be a creative person? Like it helped you build and things like that? Because I never heard that before. That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much, because you gotta take note from a coach most of the time. But at the same time, you got to put something on it because you can't do the same thing. You can't be robotic.
Yeah.
You can't be robotic when it comes down to you playing basketball. You got to be able to, okay, I did this move on this play, and they know I'm about to try to do this play again. Because when you call out a play, the team catches on. You can't do the same thing every time once the team catches on to what that play call is. So, you had to change it up, and basketball just created that creativity, and it helped expand it. So.
That's crazy because this is something I grew up with Sam, and I didn't understand. Now I do. He said that, because we watched when we was all playing sports as kids. We all played sports, and then he still took time to do other creative things. Like he's working with his dad in the garage or, on the cars and things like that. And kids these days, in this new millennium, they don't do those types of things. Yeah. They don't want to work with their hands. They don't want to go outside. They just want to have fun, and play. And he was the one like, y'all could go have fun, but I'm going to still learn something else and be creative in something else.
It's crazy you said that they don't go outside. Mm-hmm. Kids don't go outside nowadays.
Right.
At all. For nothing. I look at my kids like, yo, go swimming. Go do something. Like, you want to sit up here 24 hours and play a video game? Mm-hmm. Like, we played video game. We had hundreds of video games. Hundreds. I'm talking about.
Hey, they came out with us.
I'm talking about.
Right. They came out with that. Nintendo came out with us.
We had a notepad that listed all our games.
We still
all our VHSs just to make sure that it was like inventory. We had to take inventory at my house. Yeah. So it was like, okay. Yeah, I'm dead serious.
Dead ass.
Dead serious. We had to write the number on the game, and if somebody wanted to borrow it, you had to sign this book because we need to know who got this game.
Shake them down.
Man. We needed to know who had this movie.
We had a store. Every game that came out, we had a store of games, bro. It was ridiculous.
Damn.
So we had crazy. All this, and we would still go outside and play.
Yeah.
And still hang out. And, and what surprised me, like, I'm talking about it was 12, 13 boys sometime each day, spending the night, living in this home, living at my uncle's house, just chilling. And none of the boys would go out and want to experience what he was experiencing. And as I got older, I'm like, dang, I wish I would have learned more with my hands, with experience going out and being handy. And he was the only one out of 12, 13, 14-year-old boys that knew or it just wanted to be creative and understand, like, you need more than just basketball or sports. You're going to have to work around the house and be handy. He knew that. We didn't, out of 13 boys.
So let me ask you this then. So do you think you were forced into that at the beginning? Because a lot of kids, like I forced my kids to do a lot of things. And I know it's going to benefit them in the future. You know what I mean? When it comes to things. But the thing is, though, do you think you were forced or like at the very beginning? I'm talking about the pure beginning.
I was never forced.
Oh, so it was just like a passion.
I would see my dad in the garage working on somebody's car, doing something to somebody's car, building a speaker box or something. And it was like, man, I was watching him like, and finally he was like, hey, man, come grab this for me. Help me with this right quick.
So you looked up to your pops.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Most definitely.
That was
most
the thing.
Definitely.
That's a good thing, though.
He was his house was a safe haven for any, he didn't say no. And just for, him being a working man, like even right now, these times right now, I got kids that want to spend the night and I'm like, all right, but sometimes I'm like, man, I can't swing it right now. But he never said no.
Right.
We had pizza on Saturday. Saturday was the day. Everybody come over. Everybody order big T's pizza over there.
And they were more broke than we were.
And I'm telling you, that's why I'm like, man. He did it every time. Go to his job, play hide and seek at the job, like in the tunnels. It was like
there's none of this.
Almost 20 of us.
That's why. Yeah.
Almost 20 of us. And
Damn.
then when we got to drive, when we was able to drive, we was bringing cars to kids. We can't go to the job right now, but Uncle Wayne said come at like 11:30. All right, cool. We was at the job by 11:30. All 6 cars.
He used to take us to his job. He worked for the.
Nope.
Yeah, but he.
I mean,
he retired now.
He
retired now. But bro, we used to have so much fun at his job. The reason why is we experienced a lot of how life should be when it comes to this don't even have to be your child.
And be a kid.
And be a kid. You know what I mean? Take care of them, bring them in, and make sure that they're okay.
But what's crazy about that is my stepdad and my mom same way. Our house is full of kids.
That's great.
You know, it's just different. The generations is different now.
Very.
So I feel like back then, like we weren't on the phones. Like we had to look for things to do. We could have just been on our phones and hours could have passed by. But they were passing by with like friendship and dealing with people, and that's why we can deal with people the way we do.
Right.
That's
why we can deal with people the way we do. That's good. Yes.
It's almost like our generation was kind of bred to be entrepreneurs, if you really think about it, because we can deal with people. We can talk to people. We can do different things.
A lot of interaction that's going up as kids, middle school, high school, adults.
Do you feel like you were bred to be an entrepreneur?
I feel like it's a catch-22 when it comes down to that, because the reason why I'm an entrepreneur now is because I didn't like being demanded or instructed to do things. I wanted to do things on my own. So it was like, I watched my dad, I watched him go to work, but at the same time, when he came home, he did whatever he wanted to do. He took care of the household and everything, but at the same time, when I go to work, I'm like, man, why am I doing this for this dude? I can do it for myself.
It's almost an act of defiance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like they say, so I've been hearing a lot of things, and statistics say that a lot of entrepreneurs were C students. They're not the geniuses. They're not the guys that are like up there like in Ivy League. Yeah, they're not Ivy League students. I see this all the time.
Ivy League students are morally working for somebody.
Yep.
But it's trying to get that students that are business owners. They're entrepreneurs. They're building things.
That's good teaching.
And I feel like that's what our generation really was. I mean, I feel like the generations around us is a little different. I feel like our generations was like that. But what do you think? When it comes to that.
I agree. I wasn't the greatest student, but at the same time, I knew to take care of business. And so when it came down to it, and I got tired of being told what to do, I did what I had to do on my own.
I feel like your industry is a little bit more tough. Maybe I'm not as creative as he is when it comes to certain things, the way he molds things. Because he fixes bodies on cars and trucks.
I'm glad you said that, because we haven't said exactly what he did yet. But
So I feel like okay, so he fixed my truck. You know what I mean? I crashed my truck. Long story. But I crashed my truck.
A couple times. And
he fixed it. But the thing is, though, how do you fix it the way he does? And a lot of times you take it to other places to fix cars like that, and they're weaker. They make
because remember you sent your car to a big known company.
Yeah. And you're like, take it to him. He'll make it stronger wherever he fixes it. So that's why I started taking it to you, and I always recommend everybody to you on that end.
Appreciate it.
Because I know that wherever that my truck's going to be fixed at, it's going to be stronger than when I brought it in. And I feel like that's a big difference, because why would you want your car to be a can after that? You know what I mean? Just smashes in. I'm not trying to do that.
Because people Bondo, and you could talk more about Bondo, and let's get on that.
Yeah, let's get a little bit on that before we go further on stuff.
He stated that people fixed his truck. People fix it more stronger. So what's the difference with barely, hand-me-down in it and fixing it the right way?
Okay, so when it comes down to fixing vehicles,
after they were hit
during the accident, you don't want to compromise the integrity of the metal. The metal is what's strong. The actual creases, the actual body lines on a vehicle, that's the strongest point. If you bend those, and it's called a crinkle point, pretty much. If you damage those, and you don't pull them out, and you just fill them in with body filler or some type of glaze or something, then that damages the integrity of the metal. It makes it weaker. So if you get in another accident, your safety is at risk. I can't put nobody's safety at risk at my shop. You know what I'm saying? That's putting my shop at risk. So I'll pull the metal out to where it need to be. If I could get it perfect, I get it perfect. If I can't, it's damn near perfect. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It needs to be damn near perfect. And I'm pretty much by myself. It's a small shop, but I have a couple people, and they know what I expect from them. Don't sit up here and put it better not be past 1/8 of an inch a body filler on that car. And they were like, oh, okay.
Do you think a lot of companies, they just, because a lot of people don't know about how a car should be repaired, because that field is like, I'm gonna just take it to the insurance. I'm gonna go through insurance. I'm gonna go through insurance, and then they're gonna send me to somebody. So a lot of people don't know the importance of what they're getting when they're taking their cars to these shops.
I mean, the insurance is looking out for their best interests and the shop that they know best interests. Yeah. It doesn't matter what kind of work they do. Oh, you work with me, cut it down a couple dollars, I'll keep sending people to you. But it's like, bruh, now if they get in an accident again on the same impact that they just had, you putting their life in jeopardy. Right. You putting their kids' life in jeopardy. It's like, bruh, just bring it over here. And 90% of the times, I do it faster because I do it right. I do it faster because I do it right. Oh. You know what I'm saying? If they do it the way they doing it, like you're sitting there and you're sanding all day, you're priming all day, then you're blocking again all day. Like, bruh, either pull the metal out and it'll take me a day versus it taking you 3-4 days for you to get the body right.
And I feel like he's on the same page where I am when it comes to even payments, like money-wise on that, like would you get paid? I feel like we're in the middle. We're not the most expensive, we're not the cheapest, but we're in the middle. And our work is legit.
Quality.
Like you're gonna walk away happy, and it's fixed, and you don't have to deal with no BS. And if something was to happen, you can bring it back, and we'll take care of it. Mm-hmm. And I literally I've been looking at you like we actually dealt with each other for a few years now. Mm-hmm. It's been like maybe like 6 years, huh?
Right.
If you think about it.
Right.
So, I mean, I feel like it's the same way with him, because I'm not the cheapest. People get mad about the pricing, but we ain't the most expensive either.
You're going to do it right.
Yeah, exactly. But it's going to be done right, and we're going to take care of it, and it's not coming back after that.
That's the main thing.
And I feel like it's the same way with you.
He said it's not coming back.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
The only reason you coming back is because you got another accident.
Right.
That's the only reason you coming back. Shoot.
That's why I came back.
Do not bring it back unless you got another accident.
I'm making sure that shit don't come back. Hey, God forbid you come in another accident, but the only way I expect you to come back is not to thank me that I did a good job. And let everybody know that this motherfucker did some great shit on my shit. But unless you get in another accident. That's pretty funny.
So with How's Over Baz, I want to go into it a little bit with you.
Let's do it.
So as an entrepreneur, a business owner, a family man, a man that have kids, wife, that you have to establish something. Everything has to come from, I feel like the ground of where you're built from the bottom up. Mm-hmm. And we always talk about this here on How's Over Baz, and I know we have alcohol right here, but whatever. So we're gonna go with and the Henny in the system.
Ain't no Henny in my cup.
All of a sudden.
So like we want to go with God fearing, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I feel like everything's established by being a man or a leader when it comes to being God fearing. So when it comes to that with you, how do you look at that? Are you a God-fearing man? Do you believe in God? Where's God in your life?
You back to this foundation. My dad changed, and I watched him change, you know what I'm saying, from listening to Tupac, listening to Biggie, going to Vegas, and, just the it's not even really like partying, but like just the fact that the music that you listen to, it creates influence. And as a kid, he'll tell you, I used to listen to DMX. They used to think like, yo, this dude, he ain't right. But
DMX is part white on some of the songs he sang.
But it was
some of the rap he was doing. We were like, hey, you got a little white boy in this dude.
But it was just like, they look at me like, oh man, why he always playing the gun shooting games and this and that? And it was because the music I was listening to, it was type of
tell the story.
It was like an influence. Mm-hmm. But as I got older and I seen my dad change, and I seen the music he listened to, and then I seen him change. These is my older brothers. You got to remember, I have one younger brother. He like an older brother to me. My oldest brother is like that's an older brother. So I always look up to what they got going on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I feel like, I'm the one who make it happen. there's times where I'm the one who's gonna make it happen.
100%.
Like, so it don't matter who you run to. Why you ain't come to me first?
Well, you're a wolf. You're a howler.
I'm the one who's gonna make it happen.
So everybody plays their part as a howler. When you hang around howlers, everybody's gonna be doing something that's howling.
Something,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
And I had a conversation with a dude, probably like not even last week. He texted me talking about, "Come on, bro, trust me, blah blah blah. I'm the big brother." And I said, "You could call yourself the big brother or you won't, but I'm the brother that's gonna make it happen."
Yes.
I'm the brother that's gonna make this happen. So you need to make sure that my end is straight, just like I make sure your end is straight.
Well, when somebody says that, it gets a little bit more like
Condescending.
Like, hey. You're like, wait a minute. I'm getting a little more leery on that. You know what I mean? Because we don't have to say that. It just is what it is.
Exactly.
And we know that. Like even me and him. Like, I mean, we could even get into it, and we're friends the next day.
Yeah.
It don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's how a real pack should be.
And that's where he kind of like threw me off when he said it. But I was like, at the next day even after the conversation, we was good. I had to let it be known though, like, don't ever try to downplay me, bro. Don't ever, like, you ain't above me.
Right.
Don't ever try to downplay me,
Right.
especially in the situation that you in. I'm getting you out of a situation, so don't ever try to downplay me.
Yeah.
But I talk to him almost every other day.
That's
like,
man shit though.
Yeah,
Right.
and it gotta
You
be.
gotta do that.
It gotta be.
Yeah.
I want to get back to like our, what he was saying about, the God fearing. He's seen, my uncle change, which is, I consider my pops too. My actual father has rested in peace in 2018. So
uncle from what side?
every side.
We
Oh.
blood.
Oh.
Like I said, I got brothers who ain't blood.
Okay. I
He got my
thought
brothers who ain't blood.
I thought
So-
from your dad's side.
No, and the reason why I'm saying this is because he raised me majority of my life.
Yeah.
Like raised me, not like, oh, you just come and go. No, father figured my life to
Yeah.
to 100 power. I was
Now that's crazy for a man to do.
yes.
No. Like that's crazy for.
He
a
has
man
a
to
news
do.
article about it.
Yeah,
Him and my
that's
mom
crazy.
have a news article about it. I actually have it at my house, framed.
Yeah, and to get back to what he was saying about God fearing, because like I had some of my mentality, the Wayne mentality, my Uncle Wayne mentality, and I played sports, so when he's saying that we seen the change when it came to God fearing, because I mean we was all eyes on me, we was like we was regulators,
Yeah.
everything. He built a mentality for us. And it was like we was real hardcore. We was like, couldn't nobody, mess with us.
Yeah.
Couldn't nobody touch us. You know what I mean? We felt like untouchable. Like Pac was untouchable.
Yeah.
We would go. He would take us as kids and build us up, build our mentality in sports. And when he would build our mentality in sports, he created a background for us. So we had a background. He was tough. You know what I mean? He talked to us with a strong mentality. He built us. When I say that I was San Bernardino County Player of the Year, I give credit to him because my dad wasn't there. He was there.
Every game.
Every game.
Every
My
game.
mom wasn't there. No games. He and my auntie Mer was there every game. They built me up since a kid. So, and then we watched this change.
They don't do that no more.
No, they don't do that no
They
more.
don't even make them like that. No,
No,
more.
they don't make them like that. So we watched him change from building this, we literally a gangster mentality. You know what I mean? This, y'all the best, can't nobody be better than y'all, which was great. You know what I mean? It was a small gangster mentality to like, now y'all doing it with God. Now y'all doing it with God fearing. Y'all not only doing it with gangster
That's
mentality.
that's who was throwing it at you.
It was
Yeah.
more of a gangster mentality, like y'all hardcore, like y'all tough.
Can't nobody stop
Can't
you.
nobody stop you type
Period.
it.
Yep.
Period. But then it's transferred, like he said, it transferred from that gangster mentality to y'all can't do nothing without God. And God is y'all gangster. God is y'all hood.
He the reason.
He the reason
Put
why
him
y'all
first.
doing all this. Put him first. So it changed. So that's why when he was speaking about God mentality, or you know what I mean, it changed from where it was to where it is now.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a lot of our generation though, and that's crazy because I feel like they don't make them like that. Like we
But
said,
it's a lot of them that don't follow.
yeah, that's true too.
It's a lot of
they
them
don't
that
follow.
don't follow. Like, Yeah, a lot of them do
And us
change
parents
for the
did that
better.
too.
A lot of them do change for the better, but to watch it in real time is different. Versus, okay, yeah, now all of a sudden I see this. Oh, you're a preacher now, or you. Oh, okay. Back in the day, you. But when I seen him, it went from my mom constantly taking us to church.
Yes.
My mom constantly taking us. He was at home sleep because he worked
That was my
graveyard.
mom.
He worked graveyard, so he was always working, or he was at home sleeping, getting ready to go to work. My mom was constantly making sure we was there, and he give my mom all the credit in the world, and
But
I
he
give
still
my
built
mom.
beasts, too.
I give my mom all the credit in the world.
Yeah.
That was
for
a difference,
sure.
though. That was a difference, though. He still built beasts.
Still,
He still was
built
there to do
beasts.
something different, and the mom was taking me to church. See, my mom was a little different. You know what I mean? Mom took me to church, but I didn't have nobody building beasts. I built my own beast by being, you know what I'm saying? I had to build my own beast on that end. I was in the street just
That's how
being
you gotta
like,
be, though.
psycho.
Hey, that's crazy.
You know what I
He
mean?
said I had to build my own beast. Hey, but shout out to Wayne Funn, man. He built beasts, man. I'm a beast because of him. Like, and he built other beasts out there. Like, it's a lot of kids that came around that were soft. You know what I mean? And just listening to him talk and just listening to his mentality. You know what I mean? That's the reason why I'm a business owner too. You know what I mean? That's the reason why he's a business owner. He's not a business owner because he didn't watch a beast. He knew like a beast was watching him.
but like I said, he the foundation.
Yeah.
Every time I seen him do something, I felt like I needed to excel what he did.
Yes.
So when it came down to the shop, it was a hobby for him. This is a way of life for me. And now he knows, like, yo, this is what he do. I'm going to send people. Don't expect him to be, the cheapest guy on the block. He not me. I do it as a hobby. I take my time. He need to get that money. He need to feed his family. He need to
It is
feed his kids.
what it is. And at the end of the day, we know that now we're business
Exactly.
owners.
Right.
Exactly.
Pay us.
Yes.
Exactly.
We have to get paid. It is what it is on
Right.
that end. We're here to make money.
Exactly.
We're here to build business. We have kids. We're not playing.
Yep.
This isn't a joke. When you're a business owner, like we're not here to play. It is what it is. At the end of the day,
That's fire.
We know that as business owners, right?
Right.
So we're gonna go into this next one. We're going to leadership. So leadership is a huge part, not just being an entrepreneur, but being a man. Period.
Yeah.
So we talk about this a lot. Every man has that gene of leadership in them, because at the end of the day, when they have a family, they have to lead their home. So no matter what, every man at some point has to be a leader,
Yeah.
regardless of what they're doing in their life. So being a leader as an entrepreneur, there's a lot that comes on your plate regardless. A leader in your home, and being a leader in your business. And most people don't even agree or even believe that you can have a business. So at the beginning, let's go back to then. Okay. So when you started your business, I mean, even at the end of the day, we're going to go from here. We're not bad mouthing any woman or anything, but like a lot of wives won't even, when you first get married, they don't want you to have your own business.
Right.
They don't believe that you can do it.
Right.
But I'm not going to just say wives in general, even certain friends, things
Right.
like that, because it is what it is. They look at it like, dude, that's
Almost nobody. You're right.
Yeah, nobody believes it because you're the one with that vision. So if you're the one with that vision, only you can really see that. So being a businessman, an entrepreneur, a leader of your home, just saying, hey, I'm going to start my own business. First of all, how old were you? And how was that process? Think back from the beginning, though. The part where that was just getting you. Like, I want you to think of that part, because I remember that part.
I know exactly where I'm at.
Tell us about that.
Okay, so I could tell you from start to finish. It was 2018. 2018. I take it back. 2017. I was working at a body shop, and I was doing estimates. I was doing all kind of office work on top of being the main body guy to do the body work, and the only painter. And the only painter. And like I said, my dad taught me. I went to school for this stuff, and you know what they told me? We already know you know what you're doing because of your dad. We seen you come over here and paint
What school
cars.
did you go to?
I went to RCC, but
They knew your dad at RCC?
They knew my dad at RCC. And my dad went to school at Valley.
Yes.
My dad went to school at San Bernardino Valley College, and they knew my dad at RCC. and they said, we already know that you be at Valley painting cars with your dad. So just come, show up with a project, work on that project.
Dang.
And we don't have nothing else to teach you. And so I'm like, I want to learn something.
Right.
I didn't come to school for nothing. I want to learn something. So, I went for upholstery. I was like, all right, upholstery is something that my dad don't do.
Right.
So I'm going to go for upholstery.
That's
So
a different mindset, though.
Yes.
Exactly.
That already shows your mindset.
Already ready to
Because you could have been a spoiled little shit.
And just been
yes.
doing whatever, yeah.
Like, hey, I got it. But you said, I'm going to do something different.
I'm going to do something different.
That's a leader mindset. Period.
Exactly.
Okay, go for it.
So then, when
That's
it came
good.
down to it, I'm over here, I'm running this dude's whole shop. And I'm like, he already talked to me about passing the shop down to me, but my dad got a shop. I don't need you to pass it down to me. My dad I'm about to take his
So
shop.
somebody
from him.
from RCC was trying to pass down you a shop.
He was a teacher, and he owned the shop.
Uh-huh.
So I worked for him after I left the school.
They knew the school from they knew the skill from your dad.
They knew the skill. He knew the skill from me.
Okay.
Because I used to go to his shop just to
Help him out.
do stuff with his son. Because
Okay.
his son was running the shop at the time.
Okay.
And so it was like, okay, the son was, he was having his rough moments in life.
Right.
Man, I need to. I
And
trust you.
Right.
I
And these
trust
are
you.
teachers.
It is what it is.
These are
No,
teachers.
he was a teacher and a business owner at the same time.
Wow.
So it was like, man, I trust you. I don't know what's going on with my son. I gotta leave it to somebody. And I told him, I was straight up like, nah, let's just get him right. Let's just get him right. That's your son. I'm gonna take my dad's. And so when it came down to, it was about 2017, when I ended up working at the Air Force Base in Yermo, painting tanks, Humvees, all kinds of weapons and stuff.
Painting
What
tanks.
the fuck? I didn't even know you did that, dude.
Wait a minute. He said painting tanks, weapons.
That's
Masking,
cool.
doing all that stuff up there. And I did that for 6 months. And it was like, God told me, like, yo, your dad finna start a church. And I'm blown away, like, and he came in my room one night, and I told him, I said, hey, I know you about to start your church. I'm taking a shot from you. I said, I'm taking that responsibility off your hands. I said, God, and I really mean this, like God told me this.
Fire.
But what did okay?
That's fire.
I know. I'm already tripping out right
Go
now.
ahead.
I want to know.
Do it.
So what did your dad? Okay, look. First of all, dads I think different about their kids.
Yes, 100%.
So I know that
100%.
that is like got him.
100%.
For sure that
Yes,
got him.
yes.
He probably looked at you like. For sure, he went in the room and did his own thing. After that,
He said
but I
okay.
need to hear.
He said okay. He
Of
was
course,
like, he was
yeah.
like, man, okay. And he was like, I said, man, I ran this dude's business. Ain't no way I can't run your business.
He probably was so happy, low key.
He was, and it was. I just felt like a sigh of relief off of him. Like when I told him,
like damn,
like, cause how am I going to maintain this shop and maintain my church
Yeah.
and maintain my house? You know what I'm saying? So when I told him, he was like,
how old
okay.
were you?
shoot, it was 2018. I was, what, 35? And so then after that, it was hard for him to let go.
Yeah, for sure.
It was,
That's how dad.
it was hard for him to let go of the
How
shop.
old is he? Like 61.
And I remember
Now
he
he's,
was coming back every day.
He actually just turned 63.
At my dad's age, pretty much. Yeah.
So
Dads
it-
can't let go.
It was hard for him to let go, and I was like, yo, stop sending people over here for this cheap work. I don't do this cheap work. Like, this, okay, so I did let me get back to it.
He had Uncle Wayne had a heart of gold, so he would take care of people.
Yeah.
and make sure that,
That
it was up.
part.
So he wouldn't get paid good like he's supposed to.
He wasn't
He
getting
wouldn't.
paid
Yeah,
like
that's
he
what
was
it is.
supposed
And
to.
That's
get
different.
paid.
That's a different generation, though.
Yes.
Yeah, it is different.
Yeah.
But now we gotta live.
Right.
Because everybody wants to just
Now
bring
we
us
gotta
down.
live.
It's different then, though. It's just different time. That's what it is. Dude.
Right.
So then he, when it came down to it, like, it was just like, yo, we got to have a talk. You keep sending people over here and you giving them prices. Like, your price is not my price. How much would you charge him? This is how much I would charge him. And
He's like, damn.
And I would, but he didn't.
Hey, I'm sorry.
When I
man.
broke it down to him, why it cost that much, like I was able to break it down. Like, yo, the paint cost this much, this cost that much. All this work and this time, it cost this much. Cause he never really dealt with like
his
the
heart is
estimated
gold,
system.
bro.
You know,
Hey, his heart is gold. So he like,
So low
even
key-
if I have to come out of my pocket, I'm gonna take care of these people.
exactly.
And he like,
No.
Let the shop pay for the shop. And that was the main thing I told him. Nah, the shop needs to take care of the shop. I'm not paying for the shop. The shop needs to take care of the shop.
Well, things are different now. Everything you get charged for the fire department coming over here
Yeah.
like $3,000.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like everything just gets you.
and you better have insurance.
Yes. So I mean my dad's probably watching right now. It's the same thing.
Right.
So when he first came in here, it was just kind of the same deal.
Right.
And now he understands.
Right.
You know, because I'm like, hey, let's call the dealer. Let's see what they're charging for
Right.
this. And we're still a little less, but it doesn't matter because the dealer still they're gonna touch your truck.
Hey, and Pop's like, man, we gotta take care of these people.
Yes. But I want to ask you a question. Even before that part, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you told your dad that, okay, I can tell you're close to your pops, right?
Yes.
And he's a good dad, obviously, right? Like the way you talk about him and everything too. So when you told your dad, hey, don't worry about the shop, I'm taking the shop. How did that even like when you said that as a son, knowing how that goes, when you even said that to him, how did that feel? Like was it a little bit like I gotta say it, but at the same time like, oh shit, like I didn't jump off a cliff,
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I
Did you
feel like a little bit?
Did you prepare for this? Or like, how long did it take you to prepare for this?
Yeah, it was probably like, I mean, literally when I had the I don't know if you want to call it a premonition or a dream or whatever, like, it was probably like 2-3 weeks
After
before
So
he
you were in
told
the zone.
me.
You were in the zone.
I was locked in because it was like,
right.
you know,
That makes sense.
I got this shop, you know, there ain't no reason the shop shouldn't be, and because, you know, I was working,
Was a
and then I was
premonition.
going to the shop. I was working. It didn't matter where I was working. If I was working at the dude's body shop, I was making sure I was going to the shop to put in work. If I was working at a factory where we built cars, then you could see some of these cars on Fast 5. You can still see some of these cars on
Where we
at
built.
SEMA. I built cars.
I didn't know that.
I
Damn.
built cars at this factory in Ontario.
Fast and the Furious over here. Let's do
Man.
it. Let's get it.
And I was still going to the shop. Everything was with me falling back to the shop. So then when I go to the military base, I'm working long hours in the night, going home, taking a nap, getting up, going to the shop, working at the shop before I go back up to Yermo. So it's like, okay, I'm done then, Yermo. Y'all could go ahead and lay me off. Let me go. I'm going to do this full time. And that's when he was like, yeah, you do it full time because he about to open this church for me and he about to spread the word for me. And it was like, oh, okay. And it was kind of nerve-wracking to tell him. But it was like when he came in the room and we was having a conversation and I told him, it was just like, that's what you were supposed to do.
And it made you feel good.
It made me
And him feel good.
And he was just like, oh, okay.
Did you feel like you had to prove yourself to prove yourself?
To my dad?
Yes, for sure. Like in any area, like, you know, I can do this. I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
Because he's a beast. He's a giant. I said in our podcast before, he was my mentor.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That's who you were talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wayne. Your Uncle
Yes.
Wayne. I do remember
So he
that
a
now.
giant, bro. He's not
And
just
the shed the
skinny.
sheep one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's a giant
Oh,
to me.
shit.
Like, I'm not saying that I'm just this great person, but when I talk highly about some people, I don't really talk highly
Nah, you
about
don't.
anybody.
At all.
You know what I mean? I feel like, you know, like when it comes to him, you know, because he built a lot of people, not just 10, 15, 20 people. I'm talking about hundreds of people he's impacted.
Yeah.
So, did you feel like you had to prove yourself? Be honest. Because, I mean, I felt like, and still feel like sometimes, you know what I mean, as
Yeah,
a grown-ass
yeah.
man.
But you're working with them daily, though. It's a little different, huh? You're working with them all the time?
Not anymore because, you know, I
Back then,
basically
though.
made him retire.
Yeah, but then...
You know, he's retired from his job, but I retired him from the auto body stuff.
And I don't call too many people giants. You ain't never heard me call too many people
So
giants.
when it came down to him and me proving myself, it wasn't the fact that I felt like I needed to prove myself because of my skill. I felt like I needed to prove myself because I was so much like him. And that was a conversation.
100%.
That was a conversation me and him
100%.
had to have in order for him to understand, like, you bucking the system, but I'm just like you. You know what I'm saying? Me and him had a heart to heart in front of one of my good friends, Rodney. We had a heart to heart.
Oh, Rodney.
It came
Rodney.
It came to tears and yelling and, yo, like, relax, bro. I'm your kid. I'm your child, but I'm not a child.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like all I had that with my pops.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we all have that with our pops, and
Right.
then you get closer.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's when
something.
everything flipped.
Yeah.
And it was just like, okay, yeah, he right. He a child, but he not my child. He's grown up now.
Yeah.
I gotta let go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I start seeing him fall back from the shop. That's when I start seeing him, he can send people to the shop all day, but he tell them like, yo, don't ask me how much he gonna charge you.
yeah.
Don't ask me.
He's
not me.
Right. Let me address this real quick. When I say giant, I mean somebody that impacts lives.
Yeah.
You're a giant when you impact lives. Not just 2, 3, or say a little small word, but we have encountered someone who has been purpose and drive and fulfillment and to many. So we felt like we had an expectation. That's why we're business owners, because this man has made an impact in our life to where he expects nothing but the best from us.
He provided nothing
But the best for us.
I'm talking about
He provided nothing but the best. I was not his child, but he provided for me to be great.
So we had a den at our house that he tore down, and we helped him tear it down, and we helped him build it back up. And his reward to all the kids that helped was, I'm going to take you to go buy you some shoes. You play basketball, we play basketball. We all played on the same team. We all did we can all go over here to go get some shoes. And I'm talking about I got the Jordan 10s and the Latrell Sprewells. Right. I'm talking about we was getting shoes.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, he
over
got me
$100 shoes.
He got me 2 pairs of shoes.
And we're talking about 12 people. Kids.
I'm talking about multiple kids.
Multiple kids.
Was coming over there helping, even if you just knock the wall down. Come on, man, let's go. We all going. When it was done, we all went.
In that time, spending that much money.
Yeah, it's different.
See, that's different. See, and that's the thing. When I say giant, you want to be a giant, it's who you impact. The people you impact makes you a giant. Not just your business. You got this business and you're trying to make money off your business. That's cool. You a giant too. But who you impact, the people you impact makes you a giant. It separates you, the men from the boys. Who respects you? You know what I mean? And that's why we are where we are now, because people respect us.
I had a dude come to me, and he didn't understand. Like, he's like, hey, man, you got this shop, blah, blah, blah. You got all these dudes that come up there, they're like, and they seem like, they kind of thuggish, and they seem like big gangster guys. But they look up to you. And I ain't in no gang. I ain't never been in no gang. At 589 West McKinney Blood gang, if that's what you want to call it. Because that was where we grew up. That was my house. That was my house address. And it was so many of us there that when we walked to the Johnson Center,
everybody knew
was
us.
10 to 12 of us walking to the Johnson Center. If we leaving the Johnson Center, we walking through the cemetery. It was everybody. So it was like,
we was a pack.
We ain't no gang, but yeah, they respect me because of what I represent. No, it ain't even I could be by myself. I'm like right now. I'm by myself a lot of times right now. My pops instilled it. He instilled it in me. Like, yo, you're gonna respect this man right here. And so it's like, like I said, I'm by myself a lot right now. I mess with him, and I probably mess with, my older brother and about 3 other dudes that I roll with tough.
When you say mess with, you mean business orientated or just talk to
just
it
life.
in life?
Just life.
So let me ask you a
general.
question then. Do you think that you would be? All right, let's get a little deep on this then. Mm-hmm. So do you think you would be who you are as a man, or where you are as a man and in business, as a person, as a family man, leader, without your pops?
No question. No, don't. You can't answer that question. He is the foundation. Mm-hmm. He started it. If my foundation was on sand, it's crumbling.
So how deep do you think fathers?
Wow.
Okay, so being a father, right, and especially even in this world right now, how important is it to be a father to children right now?
Talk about it.
Why don't kids have fathers? Why don't kids have fathers? If a kid don't got a father, it's 90% of the time because the mom picked the wrong one or the mom is the wrong one. Period.
Because I feel like a lot of men, most men, I'm not gonna say all the men, but most men, when they have a kid, they want to take care of that kid. Especially from our generation, at least ours on. Maybe before us.
Man, that's a great ass question. I'm sorry. That's
Right?
fire. Go ahead.
Don't you feel like that though? Because the thing is, though, we our generation's a little different, right?
Very,
so
very.
our parents, I feel like when our parents, the 60-year-olds, their parents, a lot of them didn't want them.
Definitely.
They didn't care what happened to them. They just did what their thing.
Going
I'm not
through the
saying
motions.
everyone, but I'm saying
right.
a lot
Majority.
of them.
Majority.
But our parents wanted a little bit better for us, even though they were harder on us.
Yep.
And we were probably neglected a lot. You know what I'm saying? But us, right?
Because it was hard for them too.
It was. But the thing is that there still was parents at
Yes.
that point.
Yes, you're
that
right.
impacted us on a different level, even if it wasn't the impact that we wanted. You know what I mean? Like I feel like we were impacted on a different level. Like my dad still impacted me at a different level. He made me want to be stronger, push harder, be the best at what I do. And then my mom was the one making me go to church if I didn't like it or not. I'm in church, right? Like she would throw glasses and everything. She'd make
Your dad impacts you right now.
Oh
more than
yeah,
yes.
probably more than he ever did as a kid.
Yes.
Yeah, he impacts me.
And
right
I
now.
see it, and I feel it, and I recognize it, which is great because a father being a father is nothing greater than that protection,
Especially for a man.
especially for a man
Especially
because
for a
it's
man.
missing, and y'all fathers that are missing out on y'all children is really missing out in impacting and building something great.
Well, what is your purpose? I feel like when you have kids, your purpose is your children. Like your life is there, but it's not the same life anymore. Like when I have my kids, dude, like my joy, my real happiness comes from them. Like nothing else really matters. Like you feel like it does. Like oh yeah, you go through the motions of life and things like that. But when you see their faces, like when you come home and you're like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a whole other world.
He
for
laughed.
me.
Why you laugh?
It's funny you say that because my wife told me that. She was like you sit up here and sometimes you'll be down and out, but when the kids come around,
You're happy.
you got life. And I'd be like, I mean, I knew it, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like, yeah, that's because I'm not going to sell them short. I wasn't sold short. My dad did everything he can to make us happy, even if he wasn't there. If he sacrificed his time at work, and you don't realize that until you become an adult. So I got a 18-year-old daughter, and she don't understand some of the sacrifices that I made, and that's okay. I said because when you have your child now,
She will.
you'll understand. And I'm not going to sit up here and force my ways on you. You got to learn for yourself. I can't sit up here and be like, yo, because everybody's different, especially these times. These times are way different. So I can't handle things the way my dad handled things, or I can't put things off on you like how things was put off on me. I can't tell you advice about the decisions that I made because you might be in a different state of mind than I was.
And I feel like that's exactly how it is because life is different now. You got so many weird things going on in the world,
Man.
And before, like, the weird things going on in the world was almost kind of normal now. Like when you really think about it, you know what I'm saying? Like I'd rather take a beating than deal with some of this bullshit going on. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense. and I feel like like when you have kids now, I feel like it's different because we got neglected as kids in a sense. You know what I mean? And
But we didn't look at it like that.
Nah, we didn't.
We looked at it like my dad is at work. Or we looked at it like my mom is doing what she got to do. Now they're like, oh, you're not parenting.
Yeah, now they're like,
I'm not parenting. Why? Because I'm providing?
Hey, shout out to moms. I'm sorry, though.
That
Moms
makes no
had it.
sense.
Hey, moms is beast too.
Yes.
Like at
My
the
mom-
end
my
of the
mom
day,
was-
hey, my auntie Murray, I'm sorry, I don't
Took
mean
care of everybody that
get
my
it.
dad sick and spend the night while he was at work.
Hey, bro, I'm sorry and forgive me with this one. You talking about a beast too? Like we grew up with a great foundation, and that's why I think that we turned out the way we turned out is because our support system. And I'll get into your support system in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, she fed us all. I'm talking about 12 to 15 kids, a breakfast, lunch, and dinner on the weekends.
So let me
want a
ask you
snack?
something. Then.
You want to
snack?
hey, you want to
It's
snack?
in the refrigerator. Go get it. You ain't got to
Hey.
ask.
Okay, but let me ask you something, Ronnie. That's crazy to me. 'Cause we've talked a lot about your life and things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the way you're talking about his parents is another level.
Another level.
So-
you
so-
caught that.
So what I'm saying to you is though, like, how do you think that impacted your life? Do you think if you didn't have his parents in your life,
Come on.
you'd be this person you are right now?
No.
He not the only one that testified to that, though.
No, bro. They were everything. That's why he is who he is now, because he had what a lot of people didn't have, us
So
great
I want to ask you
support
one
system.
thing. Do you feel you were important to his parents?
For sure.
You feel like you were important?
For sure.
And you weren't even their child.
Hey, for sure. Are you talking about
Yes.
at a high level? I'm scared to disappoint them. Even now. Like, like, this is being honest, you know what I mean? And people say, well, what about your parents? My parents was okay. My parents was great. You know what I mean? They did what they had to do. They gave me the things that they were capable of giving me. But when you're talking about building me, I'm gonna be honest. You know what I mean? I have to give credit to my Auntie Murray and my Uncle Wayne, which I call them my mom and my dad also. You know what I mean? They took me to a level and they showed me, when I look at myself now and how I operate as an adult, it comes more from what I've learned from them. You know what I mean? And how they built me. And this is honesty. This is not just try to bash anybody, but this is honesty.
So let me ask you another question then. Where do you think you would be without them?
I don't know, bro. I wouldn't be who I am now. You know what I mean? Like how I trained my kids, how I taught my kids, how I built my
Came from
son.
them?
Came from them.
Damn.
Came from them, bro. Like my son is a beast, and I wouldn't be that beast if my Uncle Wayne and my Auntie Murray
And what do you
didn't
think
show
about
me
that?
this.
What do you think about that what they did to him? Like deep
I'm
down.
living proof that I seen it. Like
He's seen it.
he used to walk like they live
What do you
down
think
the
about your
street.
parents? Like, think about your parents right now, and what they have influenced. Okay, let's say this. You know Ronnie. You
Yeah.
probably know Ronnie better than most people.
Yeah,
So if he didn't have your parents in his life,
I wouldn't
think
know
about
him.
where he could be.
I wouldn't know him.
Okay,
I just being honest. I wouldn't know him.
But think about where he could be in
But
life.
you're
What if
not,
your-
you're
I
not
know you
listening.
wouldn't know it.
I wouldn't even know this dude if it wasn't for them, because he lived, I'm talking about literally across, what is it, Cactus? And they used to walk to our crib. They used to walk. Once we met them, they used to walk to our crib or ride their bikes to our crib every day once we met them. And it was like, oh,
They're just here.
they here to stay. You know what I'm saying? They here to stay. Okay, this is like my.
I'm here
hey.
to grow, learn, improve, build, be better, be who I'm called to be.
I remember how we met them.
I'm telling you, I want to hear this.
They was riding bikes and we was playing basketball on our
It's
basketball
being a
court.
thug, huh?
They was riding bikes and we was playing basketball on our basketball court. That my dad just got us. We was barely new to basketball. We was barely new to sports. All of us. And it was like, oh, okay. Yeah, y'all could come play. And they would come the next day. And then they would come the next day. And it was like, okay, we expected them to show up after that. Like, they about to come over. And, you know,
We was going to a park down the street.
yeah. And being kids, it was just like, you know, man, I'm afraid to ask my parents, can they come in the house? But they already, you know, built that relationship.
We talking about 8, 9 years old.
They done already built that
shit.
relationship
Not
with
even-
them
not even
to where,
junior high? Not
yeah,
even
y'all
junior
could come in and y'all could
Damn.
come in and play video game. Y'all could come in. I'm about to order pizza. That's how my mom and dad was. They all got to eat. Not just because, oh, nah, I'm just going to cook for my kids. Y'all got to go home. It's dinner time. They all got to eat. They wouldn't have to go home and be like, yo, I'm hungry. You know what I'm saying? If they did, it was probably because, you know, your mom called you got to come home. It's time for dinner.
This is my first attention. This is my first like experience of what a father, you know what I mean, looks after his what a wolf look after his, you know what I mean, cubs. This is the first my first experience because
at 9
and 8 years, 8.5, almost 9 years old.
Then hold on. And then when we started joining rec leagues, who you think was in the van with us? When we playing rec leagues, hey, yeah, we about to play, but who you think? And he took care of it. Hey, yo, we about to go. They about to play at the YMCA or they about to play at the Johnson Center. Okay, well, and we was all on the same team.
You talking about somebody that took seeing a gift and rock this gift and nourish this gift, and I didn't experience that at home. I felt important. So that's why now I feel like Ronnie Adams means something, because at first, as a kid, I didn't feel like I meant anything. You know what I mean? I didn't feel like I was nobody. I was just going through the motions. At 9 years old, by the time I was 9, 10 years old, I knew I had a purpose.
My daughter's 9.
Yes, I knew I had a purpose because a father told me I had a purpose.
Damn, I couldn't even imagine my daughter thinking the way that you think at that age.
I didn't feel like I had
They should feel loved, like, completely.
I didn't feel that way.
Like a child.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that way.
Feel like a child.
I didn't feel that way. And I'm being honest, and it's no cap. It's no disrespect to anybody. I'm not disrespecting anybody. I'm just giving honor where honor is due. You know what I mean? I felt alone. And then this giant who God has sent came through and says, you are somebody.
You talked about him the whole entire time that you've been around me. Mm-hmm. And I had no idea that was his dad.
That's why the reason why who I am now. And you look at me and you're like, this dude's he's a wolf, he's a beast, he's like.
You think it's because of his pops and mom.
And I have to share this with my son, because now my son came to me and says, Ronnie, you go after by any means necessary. He says, you a go-getter. You make it happen by.
Your son said that?
Man, I was blown away.
When did he say this?
He said this past weekend on Saturday.
No shit.
Bro, I was blown away. I had to take a moment. I had to tell him to say it again. Because I didn't understand what he was saying. Because I knew who built me, taught me how to build him. And he was watching because I was watching. I got an opportunity to watch a man build people, impact people. You know what I mean? And I wanted to do the same for my son. Impact him and make him think like, damn, I'm watching somebody great. Mm-hmm. Because I had the opportunity to watch somebody great. So as a kid, I never got the opportunity to watch somebody great. So me thinking like, damn, is my son is actually learning? Is he actually being impacted by my words? Impacted what I'm doing? He said, Dad, he says, a lot of people want to leave California, but I'm not running. He said, I'm not running because I'll watch you build. He said, I'll watch you hustle. He said, I'll watch you I'll watch you go get it. And I said, son, say that again. You know what I mean? I couldn't believe it because he was watching. And I didn't have nobody to watch because I didn't see nobody build. I didn't see nobody great in front of me. You know, until my Uncle Wayne came around. And I said, man, this man taking care of 12, 15 kids.
We didn't get him on the podcast.
Yeah. I'm watching him take care of not even just the ones that was in this house. Sometimes
I want to know where your mind's at when you take care of other people's kids. Like to the point where, like, buying pizza is great, right? Like, okay, you can buy pizza. But we start taking them places and
making them
Vegas.
Them learn. Vegas.
That's another
I'm talking about like Summer Classic.
Yes.
Summer Classic. He was the reason why we went to play tournaments in Vegas. Anybody can say whatever they want. It didn't matter. We knew where it came from.
He paid for everything, bro. You talking about fundraisers there? They raised their little fundraisers back then, and you know it wasn't like we thought it was. We thinking like, oh, some people are supporting us. No, he using all of his paycheck to support these kids.
Do you think any dads do that now?
No,
Hell no.
It's rare. It's rare that we able to see one
my mom
person.
would do that for my friends too.
And that's
my
a
mom
blessing.
Would do that for Aaron and Curtis and all.
Right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying? So like, I see what you're saying. It's like, but the thing is, it's crazy because you don't see, dads. I didn't see dads doing that back then.
No,
I
no.
saw moms doing it.
There were
sometimes.
more.
I mean, they was a team though. I'm not going.
So your parents
I'm
were a
not
team
capping.
on that.
Hey,
No, they was a team because my dad don't miss work.
right,
So who you think was there when my dad was at work?
right.
My mama was there.
Hey,
They was
and
a
she
team.
gonna see this too. So I'm sorry, and this might have
thing.
went from
Nah,
you know what I
do your
mean.
thing.
But I have to say this: you talking about a mother when he was at work. And we had to call and ask, can we spend a night and check in? It was still 11, 12 of us that she was feeding. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. When my parents wasn't taking me to football, basketball games, I would jump in the car with my auntie, and she was taking me to these. And I was known. I'm sorry for beating on the table. But I was known in the Inland Empire for football.
So you loved them.
Especially high school.
With
love him.
every fiber of my being, because guess why? She was at my junior All-American games at 10, 11, 12, and when no one else showed up. Not even my cousins had their own games. And she was there sometimes by herself, taking me, bro. That's who they built. That's why when people look at me like, dang, who is he?
You think God put them in your path?
Easy. Ain't no question. Ain't no question.
Hey,
It's
I don't
crazy,
say it
though.
much, but she's still my heart. She's still, and I don't reach out as much as I should, but I never forget her even being there when I passed out on the field, and I passed out and I fainted because I was running so many touchdowns. My parents wasn't there. She was there, bro. Like, you talking about an impact, and that. Why am I saying this? Is because parents, you got to understand how great you can be to kids just by being there for them and impacting them their lives with just being there and supporting them to the highest extent.
But it got to be both.
Yes.
It can't be one-sided.
That's good.
It can't be one-sided. It can't be, because we not together,
Right.
I'm keeping this kid.
That's great.
It can't be, because we not together, you got to pay me to see this kid.
That's
It
fire.
can't be that.
How do you feel having parents like that?
What you mean? They're examples.
I know, but how do you like? The thing is, though, your parents are not regular parents.
Right.
They're like superhero parents.
For sure.
Hey,
I'm not the only one that can vouch for
and
this.
I don't
I'm
feel-
not the only one that can vouch
Let me
for
explain
this.
something to you, okay? The way they raised us, I'm not jealous of the fact that they had a relationship with him.
I'm thankful
In
for that.
no way, shape, or
And
form.
I'm thankful
I'm not
for that.
jealous that they had a relationship with Ricky Anderson,
Right.
with Ronnie
Hey, but
Sweet
they love
D
me the-
Robinson.
but they love
I'm
me
not,
the most,
I'm
I
not,
bet you
I'm
that.
not jealous of none of the relationships that they created with the kids that wasn't my blood because they became my blood.
Yeah.
This my brother right here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he little, but he my older brother. He called me for advice. I called him for advice. He called
100%.
He called me for, hey man, what you think about this? And I called him for, hey man, I'm going through some stuff. Like, I don't feel a certain type of way. He probably the first person I call.
Mm-hmm.
He probably the first person I call.
So how do you think that works? Okay, so you guys you're the one that brought this up to me today.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean I don't even know if we're gonna get into all that, but I'm just saying, as a man, most men don't call nobody when they go through things.
And we talk about that too.
Yeah,
And we talked about that today.
I have a rare. Okay, the only people I call when I go through things is you and Devin, and I talk to my pops. Really, you know what I mean? That's really it. So I mean, when it comes down to talking to people, most people don't even do that. Like the hardcore, the realest stuff, you won't even call nobody. You're gonna just soak in that shit.
And we by far
That's how
from
it's
weenies or emotional.
Yeah, no,
just-
we ain't like that at all.
Right.
We ain't like that at all when
Right.
it comes down to it. But the thing is, though, I feel like men should have people to talk to. Because if they have nobody to talk to, that's when weird shit goes on in your mind.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that you need to have somebody to talk to. And it's crazy because I feel like almost like your parents are like the look of all of that. Like they kind of like set the bar. You know what I'm saying? Like how are people even that? They're like real superheroes if you really think about the situation, because when you have already your own kids, you have to work, you have to bust your ass, and you got to pay for other kids
in that time.
Okay, but let me elaborate though. My grandfather, rest his soul, giant, smallest dude that I know, giant. He set the foundation for my mom and my dad.
For sure.
My other grandparents on my dad's side, they was no slouch when it came down. Like, you keep asking, like, do you think God put you in the situation? Yes. I think God put him in a situation. I think God put me in a situation because my grandparents were firm believers. My grandma, the last grandparent I have, and she's still smiling. She's still walking around.
92,
she's still
93.
doing what she do.
Damn.
And I'm like, man, you happy? And my granddad just passed away. I couldn't even control that one. I couldn't even control the emotion when it came down to him, because that's how impactful he was to my dad, who was impactful to me, he was impactful to my mom, and they impacted. That's why you don't get it. Like when I say the foundation, my foundation is solid.
It's deep too. It's
My
long.
foundation is solid. It go back.
See, I don't know about
Let's
that.
continue that. And people have to understand that we are building something when we have children, you know, and they are having children. We have a responsibility for greatness, and that's what that's what we don't understand, you know.
I don't even understand what he's talking about because I never had that.
Right.
So when he says that, that's just like, whoa. I would love to have that. Now I feel like I have to build it.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to
Like,
do
I
that.
gotta
You got to start
be that
somewhere.
Great granddad.
Yes.
You got to start
type dude.
somewhere.
Yes.
Because I didn't understand.
And you
that.
gonna be him.
Yeah, because my dad's dad bounced.
Right.
My mom's dad bounced. They don't have none of them. My grandma was the only one there. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't make any sense to me. Like I wish I could have a grandfather to be like, man, like, teach me something, grandfather. You know what I'm saying? Like, our great-grandfather. Because that's different. But I didn't have none of that shit, dude. You know what I mean? So I feel like damn, dude, I woke up just right now from what you're talking about.
And that's important because
You
you're
know?
starting this business for your kids.
Yeah.
Kids. So now, like he said, it starts at a foundation. So your voice is going to matter, not just for your kids, but for your kids. Because Granddad, who we call Granddad, Rev, his voice mattered to us. And it matters to his kids and his offspring to where it hit us. Because our parents learned from him, which I say our parents because these are my parents too. Whether, you know what I mean? He knew that.
Yeah.
Like he said, he didn't care. He knew that this was my mom and dad. They fed me regularly. You know what I mean? They take care of me regularly. Not just half-assed it. You know what I mean? They were giants in my life. So your giant, who you going to be, starting the business that you have, is going to impact your kids and all of their friends and all whoever touches their lives. You see what I'm saying? It's going to grow and grow and grow as long as you keep speaking and keep teaching. You see what I'm saying? It's important for you and who you are to build this foundation. Like he was saying, it starts at a foundation. Now you are the foundation. You didn't have that foundation. Now you are the foundation to what these kids need in this new era.
That's crazy. I mean, you're fortunate to have
Very.
these people
Very.
in your life. Like that's crazy. It goes far back for you.
It goes so far back to where, like, you could see people walking down the street. I've seen people post videos of my grandfather that I don't even know who they is, and they be like, "Oh, I'm with Bishop. Oh, I'm with Bishop," and send it to my relatives, and they post it like, "Yo," and I'm like, "Man, who the heck is that? Like, how they know him?" Even my dad could come to the shop, and it's kids that I play sports with, but I didn't commingle with them like I did with him and, all the other kids. But they know who my dad is. And they respect my dad because they're like, man. that's Coach Funn or that's Mr. Funn.
But they impacted lives.
They impacted lives.
I'm
That's
telling
like I feel like there's a very important people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Those are people that need to exist because not everybody can impact lives.
I met a lot of people.
Right.
I come from the streets. You right. I'm sorry to cut you off.
That's crazy to me.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I met a lot of people, and like I left my home when I was 16 years old, and I tried to do it on my own. So I had to stay house to house, place to place, just to try to survive. And of course, my uncle and my auntie was there, and they were solid for me. I didn't want to put a lot of burden on them, also because they still had
they have things going on,
and them kids and
understand.
impact other kids also, and not just me. I didn't want to be selfish, but I had to stay with other families too. But there was nothing like them, bro. Like even seeing the way they operate their family and the way they treat their kids and the way they talk to their kids, there was nothing like the Funns.
I think it would be great to like have a grandfather or a dad or somebody like impact somebody's life. Where you're like, hey, how's that even happening? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are they doing that? Because everybody looks at their dad or their mom in a sense, like, not everybody, but a lot of people look at their parents like, oh man, I look up to them,
Mm-hmm.
When you see other people look up to your parents, that's a whole other fucking level.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you see people like look up to them and you don't even know, like you said, that's like, has to be mind blowing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even understand that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My parents were struggling in a different way. But, like, your parents, they seem like, I mean, the generations go far.
Very.
So they kept impacting each other to become great.
And
to do great
boom.
things. To become, and the thing is, I feel like we got to start somewhere.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I feel like now
and that's what
starting
it takes, and that's what we understand now.
Yes.
That we have to be in a position to where our legacy, because they built a legacy of being impactful in people's lives. So every adult, every man should want to build this legacy of being impactful in kids' lives, in their kids' lives, and people's lives, period. It's saying, like, this is what the responsibility, this is what being great means, is being impactful in people's lives.
I want to ask him that. Because, like, okay, I want to go to leadership. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're going to go into that in a minute, but I want to tell him, like, okay, so I feel like the ultimate leader of leaders. Now, there's leaders, and I feel like there's
ultimate
leaders
of leaders.
No,
that was fire. Say that wasn't fire. Say that wasn't fire. Did they hear that?
You could be a leader, but his family's leaders of
leaders.
He built leaders. Not everybody can do that. Mm-hmm. So when you look at your parents or you look at leadership, mm-hmm. I mean, this is the best question to ask this dude right now.
That's fire.
What do you believe a leader is?
Presence. A leader has to have presence. Whether I'm there or I'm not there, my presence needs to be there. And that's how I feel like my dad was. If we was at home and we was doing some stuff that we wasn't supposed to do, I'm going to call your daddy. Yeah, his presence was there now.
Wow, I'm dead. Can I take this?
If it's just a call.
His presence was there now. And okay. That's
fire.
when everything stopped. Like, okay, we need to chill out. We need to go sit down. She about to call him. Okay, well,
How many times
as we get older,
yes, his presence is still there.
We ain't got to worry about it no more because you ain't got to call my dad because his presence is
still there.
And it's going to make me think before I do some stupid stuff. I mean,
I'm blown.
We all went through some things as young adults. And I'm not going to lie, it's the things that I've been through, my mom and dad always crossed my mind before I did it.
Fire.
Yeah.
That's fire. How many times?
Even if I made a mistake,
mom and dad.
It was
he
like,
said
man.
Mom and
it was
dad.
like,
Yes.
man, how is this?
How many people can say mom and
No,
dad?
mom and dad. How many times that I've came to you to where I was like, you know what I mean? I don't want them to know.
Yeah.
Or like, hold on.
Hey, is he there?
Is he there?
Nah, he ain't there.
Because his presence,
he on his way though.
He on his way though.
Like you better
be right because
I want to meet this man.
Hey,
I thought you were right
before,
there.
haven't you?
Hey,
No,
you never met my dad?
No, I don't met your pops.
Yes,
he
you
said,
have.
When? When did I meet him?
At the shop.
The
First time I fixed your car. He was
Bro.
supposed to do it for you first, and that's how I got the compressor.
hey,
Because
bro.
he was supposed to get the compressor.
how
was
do you
his
know
deal,
you
and it was
here?
like, bro.
You a great leader.
I need to meet him again.
Hey,
Now.
let's
'Cause
not.
I didn't talk to him. I didn't even know who he was.
Hey,
Like, I didn't
that's
know
what-
what was going on.
Let's not overlook what he just said because a great leader is even when you're not there, his presence is still there. So if you at a job and you working, I don't have to be there. I'm a
In order
great
for-
leader
exactly.
because
Hey.
my presence is
Did he
there.
give me that different color watermelon? Was it kind of like different color?
It was yellow.
Yellow watermelon.
Yeah.
That was your dad?
Yeah.
Shit. He gave me a
Oh,
yellow
yeah, he was
watermelon.
there when
And
he
I was
cut
like,
it
why
up.
does it taste just like the regular watermelon? I was thinking.
I'm not even gonna lie. Let me stop the cap. Let me stop the press. I feel that with you with your dad also because certain things that I've noticed, and even when he's not here, you still care about what he's going to think or what he's going to say.
And that's a new
his-
thing for
his
me.
presence
Because
is still
yeah.
there.
When my dad came to God, it was different. But I always had that mindset with him, like that's my dad, you know.
Yeah. Yes.
If he did wrong or not.
Yes.
But then I look at my son, and I know when I do wrong, I don't want him to think that's my dad anyways, and I do wrong.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them to think of that of me because I know I'm doing wrong stuff.
It's funny.
But you know what I mean, I hate that. I feel like regret and like shame. I don't want my kid to be like, oh, that's my dad. I love him to death. No matter what he does, it's great.
Right.
And I know I'm doing wrong.
Right.
See, my dad's doing right now though, and it's different to know that he's doing what he's doing now. I mean, I would have been great as a kid to see that, you know. But the thing is, I need it now because the shit that I'm going through as an adult.
It's better now than
I know. I'm like, shit, I'll take that all day. Because, I mean, dude, you seen what I had at my business?
Yes.
He's doing that by himself.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, he's killing it for me right
Right.
now. And I don't even understand.
Right.
I couldn't even tell him what he's done for me in my
Right.
business.
Right.
You know, what he's done is above and beyond.
Right.
It's just different though, because when you're a kid, you feel more alone.
Yeah.
You feel more. There's more things that go on in your mind that you're not special, or you're not the one, or there's something wrong with you because you have all these weird thoughts in your head. So when I look at my kid, I don't think none of that. I look at them and I'm like, dude, you're the best. I love you. I talk to them. I'm like, come. I hug them, kiss them, no matter what, dude. I want them to know I love them, which I do. I'm obsessed with my kids, my babies. You know what I mean?
But your babies can't be your God, man.
Yeah, I know. Damn. I know.
That's fire.
That's like you putting them before who created you.
That's fire.
How did you even know that I was even thinking that way? That's kind of weird that you said that.
Because you said it.
Because I was even thinking that the other day. I'm like, okay, so when they grow up, where am I going to be at? Because the thing is, though, it's not going to last. They're going to grow up, and and then where am I going to be?
Exactly.
Because a man's mindset's like you got to put your mind in something in order to not like go off the handle. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that you even caught that. It's kind of trippy to me, dude. You know what I mean?
Right. Hey, I'm glad. And people, the viewers that are watching, this is a business build, meaning this is how.
This is a man podcast.
Yes,
period. Like
yes,
man podcast.
Yes.
Like to be a man.
We really wanted to get into his business and what he does, but this is man podcast. You know what I mean? It's how he was built and how men should be built when it comes to support system, when it comes to fathers looking out and mothers being mothers and making sure they're taking care of their cubs. Nurturing and to build who we are as businessmen.
But he's right. So what do you think about that? I want to know your thoughts then.
As far as what?
What you just said to me. You're right. Why'd you even catch that?
Because when it come down to my children, like people be like, "Oh man, you hard on them. You hard." God chastises us too. And if they look at you, the person who's taking care of them from a young age, and you don't chastise them, who you think they turn into? The world. They turn into the world. So you're right. I got a 2-year-old right now. Everybody think, oh man, you hard on him. No, I'm not. But he loved me more than he loved all y'all.
Stop.
I swear.
I know
swear.
that. I know that.
He respect me more than he respect all y'all.
Right.
Because he know, oh, my dad don't play that mess. You know, I don't gotta even say, hey, and he look at me like, oh, all right.
But then he wants to hug on you the most.
Oh, daddy, I love you.
Yeah,
man.
my kids are the same.
He'll lay up under me. We could be at home and you know, he stayed with my she's not my oldest daughter, but she's my middle daughter. He stayed with her pretty much all summer. And when she went back to school and he started coming back to the shop with me, he like, I'm leaving with my dad. Leave me alone. Don't bother me. And she's like, we spent all summer together. We you know, she's trying to build that bond with him. But it's not ever going to be stronger than the bond that me and him have. And so that's why, like, I had a partner who hit me up. Like, he's like, hey, man, you know, you feeling a certain type of way? Why you say that? Because you was listening to gospel music in your truck. I said, maybe I am. Maybe my son don't need to be listening to all the crap that, you know, I started listening to when I was young, at a young age. Maybe he need to diversify and understand, like, there's good in this world. It don't gotta be just negative. It don't gotta be, you know, all the crap that everybody's putting in your head, because that's when you create mental issues.
Yeah. And look how mental issues are so bad right now.
We used to call him Killer. We didn't know how he was going to turn out.
Yeah,
we thought he was going to end up killing somebody by the time he was...
You?
Yes. Because of stuff that, like, literally, like, going back to where, in the beginning to where, and we got about 5 minutes left, and this went by so fast. But in the beginning, we were talking about how, you know, we were built and how my Uncle Wayne kind of made this almost gangster mentality in our lives to make us tough, to build us as men and young men.
Your Uncle Wayne needs to be on the platform with all of us.
Yes.
You don't know the men one? Remember the men one we're talking about?
Uh-huh.
The men platform? He needs to come on, and his dad needs to come on.
Yes.
100%.
Definitely, 100%.
Needs to come on.
So we thought, out of all the people, like, he ain't gonna make it. We like, I mean, we at school, like, he didn't take no shit from nobody, excuse my language. Like, he tried to fight somebody.
I had a broken leg.
He had a broken leg, bro, like, with a cast on his leg. And he's still out there, like, what's cracking? And me and my cousin, his older brother, we like, bro, what is wrong with you, my nigga? If somebody kicked that cast, you going down. But well, he still
So kick my cast.
Yeah.
Kick it.
And he limping on one
He's
leg.
like, hey, my dad takes care of 12 of you. You better be right behind me.
Right. And we thought like, there's no future for him. Like, something's going to happen to him. Like, he's going to really kill somebody by the time he's like a grown adult. Like, he's just, like, the music that he listened to and what we thought.
He was white boyed it.
No, he wasn't. And it was too much for us. Like, it was just listening to him.
DMX.
We thought
blood of my blood.
Hey, yeah. We thought, I'm like, hey, I'm hardcore tough. I'm like, bro, I'm gangster. I'm tough. I don't take shit from nobody. And this is real shit. Like, growing up, like, I'm very aggressive growing up. Like, I had a chip on my shoulder. I was short. I had a complex. So I'm like, anybody can get it. Show me. I'm gonna show you these hands. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at him like he would kill somebody. He was going to hurt somebody growing up.
He ain't gonna be that fun.
And right, he ain't gonna be that fun. But then again, like, as I began to watch him and him learn his skill and learn craft and learn business and learn everything, I'm like, dang, he's really gonna be one of the ones that, you know what I mean, supersede expectation from just 9 to 5 growing up. You know what I mean? And I was like, wow. You know what I mean? Because even watching him through college, you know what I mean, and learning his craft, learning his skill, and paying attention to what's going on in the real world, I seen that change. I seen something different. Like, okay, you know what I mean? I mean, he the first person that ever put 20 bands into my life. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't never had nobody say, you know what, there's a 20 band opportunity in business. Here you go. You want to learn how you can do it? You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, this is for real. You know what I mean? He's become a man. He's become a business owner. He's become an entrepreneur. He said, this is for your business. Take this 20 bands and put it into your business.
Hey, this is more therapy than anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, what the hell is going on over here? Like, I don't think we've ever talked like this ever.
You know what I mean? And we didn't even get down to, like,
Nothing.
the
We didn't get to nothing.
Dude, we got to have a platform of all men like you talked about.
And-
You got to come back and you need to put your pops on. I feel like I need to bring my pops on, too.
Definitely,
He not gonna
100%.
We're going to be doing that
100%.
platform with men. You need to come
that's
on.
gonna set the
For real.
bar because a lot this don't happen.
We need to tell them.
But I'm gonna
So
be-
we want to have a all men platform of not just relationship, just being a man, growing. Like talk about it. Both of you guys talk about because you talked about it with you more than anything.
You
Yeah,
on
he
the
did.
you on
Go.
point
Yeah.
already.
Go.
You know what I mean? Like Jacob is saying, like men, we are so closed in. We don't have no one to emotionally talk about. We close in our emotions. We don't talk about emotions. We think that's just feminine stuff, and it's just women who talks about emotions. But as humans, we have emotions also. So at the end of the day, I feel like men, the reason why we hide or we, like I told Jacob earlier today, statistics say that men kill themselves more in suicidal in relationships and kill their significant others or suicide or hurt their others physically is because we have no one to talk to. We're so closed in. We don't share. We don't have people. When we go to our homie or we go to our loved ones and we talk about our emotions, now we're not a wolf. Or now we feel like we're not a wolf. We're not a lion. You know what I mean? Because we're hiding these things in. But like I told Jacob earlier, if I shed a tear, you better watch out. You know what I mean?
Somebody's dying.
Somebody's dying. You know what I mean? It's okay to cry.
Right? Because when we shed a tear when we were about to fight somebody,
Yes.
they think it's
Yeah.
weakness. Like,
They
bro,
think
Yeah.
it's weakness.
we
No,
know
it's
we get
not
Trust
weakness.
me.
fucked up.
Something is about to happen if I
you
shed
better
a
hope
tear.
somebody intervenes.
Yes.
You better hope somebody intervenes.
If I shed a tear, something is about to happen.
That's a lot of passion.
You know what I mean? That's a lot of
passion
passion.
that's about to come out.
So
and you
us
ain't ready for
men
that.
need to start a panel.
I like that actually, a lot.
Yes, be able
and
to
you need to be
be
part of that panel because he had
transparent.
that conversation with you, and I feel like that needs to go down. Especially I've talked to him today, and having the parents he had, that's mind blowing.
Yes.
I don't know anybody, not one person, with both parents
That were
the
giants.
way he had it. No,
That were
maybe
giants.
one,
Yes.
but not two.
Not two.
I've never met two.
No,
never.
They were both giants, and we could teach.
That's crazy.
We could teach and show people.
You gotta bring
how
them both
important it is.
in.
Yes.
To be honest, we should bring them both in.
Yes. My aunt, she hold it down.
She's all, she ain't coming in.
They not gonna come.
Nah.
Because I mean, and it's not a knock on
Yeah,
the
I know how
platform.
it is.
It's humility.
They're very humble people.
They like
They're
nah,
very humble people, and they let us just talk about.
Well, you guys
what
talk
happened.
for them then.
They
talk
they
for
say
them.
they always taught us that.
Yes.
Let your game do the talking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could talk messy if you want to, but what about when you get busted up?
Right.
Yeah.
Let your game do the talking.
I
And
love
we was
them with
always taught
everything
that.
of every fiber of my being. And let's get back to this men panel. It's important because, like you were saying, a lot of times men don't have anyone to go and talk to and share with because you're a punk, you're a sissy, tough enough.
We know we ain't punks.
No, at all.
No, that's what I'm saying. So they can tell us
me
that.
if you want to. You ever seen me being emotional? You better thank God that is a good thing.
Right, Shotty? You know what I'm talking about over there.
That's a good thing, you know what I mean? Because you don't want me at my hardcoreness all the time. You want me to bring it down and show emotion. And women also want men to be sensitive and show their emotional side. It does not mean that you're a sissy. It does not mean you're a punk. It does not mean you're not a lion. It does not mean you're not a wolf. You know what I mean? That does not mean that you're not tough.
Yeah.
You know, it shows the respect level that you have for others.
We're more dangerous. We're emotional though.
Right.
You know what I
Very.
mean? Like, we are more dangerous. That's why you see school shootings and all that shit.
Right.
They're so emotional. They're dangerous
Because they don't have anybody to let it
and
out.
they
to.
need that.
Yes,
they need that.
We need to let it out. We need to go to people that we can trust and talk about some of the things that we balled up and held inside. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because we're gonna explode if we don't. Mm-hmm. That's why I go to him and I tell him I'm transparent with him. You know what I mean? I tell him stuff that I don't tell nobody. You know what I mean? And he give me advice to help me grow, not to help me be
I ain't
soft.
Sugarcoat it to you.
No, he ain't about to
I ain't
sugarcoat
it to you.
No, but it's gonna help me grow and help build this man that's inside of me.
I didn't even know this was the thing, dude, with you and him,
Right?
And his parents. I had no clue.
Right.
I remember talking about your Uncle Wayne and all that shit, but like,
Right.
damn,
Right.
this shit is insane to me because I don't know anybody with both parents that are beasts.
That are beasts.
I don't know anybody with both parents.
Right.
That were beasts at the same time, that doing this to kids, showing them how to grow and be men, women, whatever it is, dude.
See,
That's just crazy to me,
Monty
man.
showed me what a woman is supposed to do in the home.
Supposed
Yes, he said
Supposed to.
He said supposed to do it.
they
And I know
don't
we
do
got to
it
cut
now.
it because we're going to ask you one more question before we cut it. But let me say this. You know, I learned now that I've learned as growing up and how, you know, women think like, oh, I'm the ultimate woman and this, you know, I'm doing my job, you know, da. And at the end of the day, you know what I mean? If you can't back that shit up from what I've seen, you not her. I'm sorry, you're not her. And I'm not saying her as in the woman that I have on my side. You know what I mean? I'm saying her to the woman that's been the greatest example of being her. Of being a mother. You see what I'm saying?
Of being a wife.
Of being a wife. I watched that.
Damn.
As being a support system. I watched that with my own eyes.
That's a downfall for me. That's a downfall for me. Because my wife right now, she great. But it's like, you have shoes to fill.
No shit.
And I feel the
have
same
shoes
way
to
because
After you have
I've
a mom
seen
like that,
You
I've
have
seen
shoes to fill.
after having a mom, after me, I can say that too. That was my mom too. After seeing a mom like that, and I'm not saying that to downplay my mom because my mom played a great
she should
role
want to feel those
in
shoes.
my
Yeah.
life, in
She
my
should
life.
want that.
But I
Yeah, she
also
does.
seen a
She's
great experience as
jumping to
well.
it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not downplaying my mom, but I did see a great example also from his mom too. You know what I mean?
Let me do that question.
Our mom. Go ahead. Let's
I
end
know,
it
I
with
know,
that.
I know that you wanted to do that.
That's my best question of
Sam
all time.
Funn. So you, Sam Funn, without money, your business, cars, clothes, all that, wipe it all away. Who are you, Sam Funn? Who is Sam Funn?
I'm God's child still, regardless. It don't matter if I didn't have the money. It didn't matter if I had the shop. It didn't matter if I had the parents that I had growing up. Like, I'm wholeheartedly believe that God would still took care of me in some way, shape, or form.
Fire. I'm God's
Yeah,
child.
you can't be better than that.
No, there's
How
nothing
can you-
greater than that. I'm God's child. I wish we could do a segment on that.
Yeah,
I wish we could
Sam's
do a-
coming back a million times.
Hey,
I'll tell you right.
I
You
wish
know
we
are
could do
doing
a
that, too.
segment of that. Did you hear what he just said, y'all? He said above everything, above what my mom and dad did, above what anybody did in my life, but above what I did, I'm God's child, and that what matters the most. You know, he created me. He was a part of the plan. I'm God's child, and what he says means the most about who I am.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is. I like that a lot.
No
This
matter
is,
what
dude.
it says.
This was a crazy ass podcast.
Yes.
To be honest,
I didn't know it was gonna go
yeah,
this way.
I didn't know it was
we didn't
either.
get we didn't get into a lot of your business. You know what I
Hey,
mean? A
that's all
business
good.
His
orientation.
family
and
can come in a lot of times anyway.
Yes,
So.
but bro, some things that were said, it was just it's awesome. You know, and that last part, it resonates so much with me. You know what I mean? I'm God's child no matter how I was raised, no matter what I was taught, no matter what anybody thinks about me. You know what I mean? No matter what views you have about me, no matter what you think about me, I'm still God's.
House of a Baz.
House of a Baz. I'm Ronnie Adams.
I'm Jacob Casas. Shed the Sheep. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you for
we
coming out.
appreciate this. And we're out.
We're out. Peace.
Dude.